everybody, welcome to my channel. So today I will be reviewing the 60 set of Arteza Gouache, and let me tell you, I've been so excited to do this first video and to do this review because I've had a lot of different difficulties along the way to get this all set up. So for my first video, I'm so excited to do this, and I will be using so I just finished my last sketchbook, and if you'd like to see a sketchbook tour, go ahead and tell me. I will be swatching all of these in my new sketchbook, which is the Canson XL Mixed Media sketchbook, and it's the 9x12 inches, has 60 sheets. It's really good quality. I've used one of these before, but that was before I learned how to actually use a sketchbook. And I will also have to swatch art supplies, which it's not gonna be fun. I have like, what, 63? Wait a minute. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna do the math, and I will be back to you guys. Okay, be back. So I just did the math, and I have, in total, not including the supplies that I will be using for the next review video, 198 different things to swatch. That's a lot if you don't know, and that's including all of my alcohol markers, all of my watercolors, and all of the gouache. And I also have another set of gouache. It's actually the Kimi Maya gouache set, and if I knew that I would have been doing an art channel, I actually wouldn't have opened this. But I'm really glad I did, because I did some nice pieces with it that I actually enjoy. So if you want to see a full-fledged review on this one as well, just go ahead and tell me in the comments, and that would be great. Also, the Arteza watercolors, love these. These are my first watercolors, or like professional watercolors that I've ever used, because they're higher quality than, you know, like most student grade watercolors. But I probably would have invested in some, like, tubes if I had known that this is what I would have been getting. But, I mean, I knew this is what I was getting, but the quality, you know what, never mind. You guys probably understand what I mean, even though you don't know my brain, but it's fine. So there will, yeah, so I'm going to be swatching all of these in, like I've already said, my Canson XL Mixed Media. So you'll probably see some of the footage of that, and I will see you after all of this torture. So I have all of them open and laid out, and I am so just happy with all of these. Like, they all look so nice, and I will be swatching all of them. Oh, they are metal tubes. Oh, I've been wondering that. So these are metal tubes, and that way you can get, you could like, let me see if this will, there we go. This is deep green, and it is also, it's a metal tube. All of them are metal tubes. I already said this. I will be swatching. Do I have to open it, or is it already open? Ooh. That's such a pretty color. Okay, I'm kind of obsessing over them. Okay, I'll stop now. How do I get this back in the tube? I didn't think this through. I really didn't think this through. Hey guys, so this is just a speed paint of me using the Arteza Gouache, and the colors that I used were, I think it was blush pink, orange, titanium white, noir, and gold. And I know at the very beginning I said that I did not like the gold, but, you know, I'm just going with it, because I decided that I'm going to put it on the shirt. Right there, when I did that weird hand clenching thing, I realized that I'd painted it a little bit into the mouth. I fixed that eventually with more white, but I didn't like it at the very beginning. So pretty much what I do, so how I best explain my process for this is that I have, most of the time for lighter skin tones, I'll use two colors. One will be the quote-unquote blush, and the other will be the quote-unquote shader. So for shaders, most of the time it's the orangier or more red tone, and then with that, or it's the darker tone pretty much. When I want to shade things, I'll add more of it, and then when I eventually use the blush, I'll add more of the blush into it. And for the very beginning, all I do is put the blush and the shader together, and then do a very light, like watered down mixture of it for the very base. So, like I said for skin, I just use the shader and the blush, and I put them together, and then I add white. And I know probably a lot of people add white. Probably almost everyone that uses paint adds white to make lighter skin tones. But I just had to say that before I used the watered down layer and then the thicker white layer, or like the actual skin tone layer on top of it, I had so many problems with trying to blend things and trying to get things to look the way I wanted them to. They just looked so off for some reason until I put down the watered down layer and thicker layer, and then I could start blending things out. And right about here was when I realized that I had not used a watered down layer for the shoulders, and that was a huge mistake. So I had to color those. Color? I think I already said this, but isn't it paint? Yeah, it's paint. I realized that I had to paint those in, and so I did that, and I had to let them dry for a little bit. And I've learned that with the Arteza Gouache, when I use the Himi Maya gouache, it worked okay. Oh yeah, and I was listening to music, and I was kind of dancing out for like no reason. I realized when I use the Himi Maya gouache, I can actually mix them while they're still wet, but the Arteza Gouache, because the shoulders were still wet, and I tried to put the thicker layer on top of it, and they would not go together. They just did not like each other while they were still wet for some reason. right about here, like I said this for the last recording, I put more pink, and then I actually put not exactly enough pink, but oh, it just froze up on me for some reason. Oh, there we go. Then eventually, after a while, I realized that I had to add some orange to the pink to make it, so like I said, I have a shader and a blush, but sometimes what I mean by that is that when I want a darker tone, I'll add more orange and the tiniest bit of more pink, and when I want a blush, I'll add more pink and the tiniest bit of orange. So everything still looks cohesive together, but it doesn't look like it's all just completely different colors from each other. So I've realized, since you didn't get to see me actually putting the highlights and shading and stuff in there, see right there, that's when I added the orange, and I realized, oh, that's the actual blush I'm looking for. And then I also add blush to the ears, the cheeks, the nose, and the other cheek. That sounds weird, but it's okay. I was trying to say that since you didn't get to see me do the highlights and the shading, actually get to see me shade, I think, the chin, but I don't know if I've gotten there yet. And like I was trying to say, since you get to see me do the highlights, pretty much what I do for highlights on the face, I put it right underneath the arch of the eyebrow, depending on how large the arch is, the very tip of the nose, and sometimes if you can see the very bottom one to the left, the actual, like, drawing, I'll do a tiny little line to signify that the nose is slightly bigger, and I'll put a little highlight right there too, and you'll see in the final piece that I did that with this piece too. And I'll usually put highlights on the nose, one part of the eye, and with eyes like this, when they're supposed to be like Asian-y eyes, I'll put highlights on one side of the eye and then shadows on the other side, and then I only put eyelashes on the bottom part of the eye. Hey, so I know that I'm doing a lot of voiceover and maybe you just want to watch it. So if you just want to listen to it, even though I should have said this at the beginning, just feel free to mute out my voice whenever I do speed paints. If you really want to, you can draw along with me and you can tell me that in the comments, and I'd really enjoy that. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments and I will happily answer them. And if you have any ideas for videos, go ahead and tell them to me in the comments. Jeez, I'm saying comments a lot. And I just really appreciate any feedback that I can get because, you know, it's my first video. You tell me something that I can do better, I'll work on it. So, I hope you are having an amazing day because I'm really happy that I got this out. So, you know what? I'll just let you see the very finishing end of it. Hey, I really hope you like the finished product because I put a decent amount of work into this video and this piece for you, even though it was a small piece. Oh my gosh, there's so many difficulties. I hope you have a good rest of your day or night, whatever time you're watching this, and thank you. Bye.